Today in the Marketing Center, we're going to be looking at how to edit an existing project. When you have a new listing go on, our automated system generates 5 projects, and they're ready for you within 24 hours. I'm going to show you today how to edit one of those projects for a different purpose, and through that you can see how versatile these different projects within the Marketing Center can be. So first, when we log on, in order to see projects that we might like to edit, there are 2 options. You can either choose the Projects button up here in the menu, or Edit Existing Projects down here on the main page. This will take us to our portfolio of projects. You can see here the 4 most recent projects for Jenny. Oh, and I'm using today as Jenny so that you can see everything from an agent's perspective. If you scroll down, you can see the project folders, and remember they're automatically named by the address. You can always change their name or add your own folders. Let's play with Clarendon today. So you can see here for Clarendon, there are the 5 automated projects that are generated through our listing launch program. And this first one is the web ad. What it is it generates a JPEG that you can use, social media, texting, email, all sorts of options. And it's one of the more easy templates to edit and learn with. By default, this web ad is a just listed picture. I'll click on preview here and it'll generate a little PDF for us to look at. When this project is generated, it has a headline that says just listed across the top. The first photo found from the MLS, the address, Jenny's information, and the MLS number. And then a little disclaimer here at the bottom that we have to put in. But today I'd like to show you how to use this template that's generated and change it to suit a different purpose. So let's say that Clarendon's been on the market for a week, and now we're getting ready to have our first open house. We need a little image that we'd like to share on Facebook or email to people, share with some of the neighbors, any kind of purpose like that. So let me show you today how to just really quick edit this project in order to suit a new need. What you want to do first is click the duplicate button to make a copy of this project to edit. And yes, we'd like to make a copy of this project. Now you can see we're operating in the copy. It says copy up here. And we're going to click on Edit. Now when you're editing an existing project, or if you're creating a new project, these steps across the top are usually very similar. You can see over here on the left-hand side that there's a layout option, and it shows you where the headline goes, that you'll have a photo to choose from. For the project name, we can leave it as the address and copy if we'd like to. I'm going to go ahead and delete the word copy and put in open house. That way it's easy for me to remember what this project was for. This description is automatically copied from the first version, that just listed ad. We'll delete that and just put open house ad here. Down here it gives us the option to automatically crop photos when adding or rearranging. I like to leave this selected. That way none of your photos get stretched or warped when you're using them in projects. We'll hit Save and Continue. The next step is to look at the photos. So in this project, there's just one photo option. And so in this area, you're only going to see one photo at a time because that's all the project can handle. If we didn't want to use the front of the house, we could always add a photo either from the MLS that is imported or upload one from our computer. So let's walk through that real quick. Let's say that this was not the front of the house image that we'd like to use. We have 2 options. We can delete it and add a new one, or we can use the Replace option. By clicking on the Replace option, it now gives us a few different selections. We can pull a photo from the computer. We can pull a photo from the project. If we have favorite photos, we can choose from there. If you'd like to purchase stock photos, you can purchase them here. Or if you use Dropbox to save your photos online, you can sync it up with this option. We'll choose project photos today. Project photos are imported from the MLS when your listing goes through the listing launch process. So instead of the front of the house shot that was originally there by default, see it here at the bottom, for fun, let's just pick a different shot. We'll grab this one of the kitchen. You can see when I selected it, it changed to this green check mark and put a number 1. one of one photo selected because only one photo can work on this project. If we wanted to preview this photo, there's a little magnifying glass down here, and it opens the photo up larger for you to be able to review. If this is a photo you plan to be using a lot, you can always click on the star, and that'll add it to your favorites so it's much easier to find. We'll click Add Selected. And now you can see that it's given us a small warning, Quality Alert. For best results, please upload a larger or higher quality version of this image. Typically, photos from the MLS are going to be high enough quality for your projects, but sometimes your photos are going to be smaller depending on the type of camera you've used or how you've uploaded the photos. If that's the case, remember you can still use this lower quality photo, but you can notice when I open it up here that it opens up small and it has kind of a grainy texture to it. In order to fix that, we would upload a higher quality photo. In this case, I'm just going to hit Remove this image and Add Photos. We'll choose from my computer this time and select Files to upload. And just like any other kind of upload, it'll open a preview window of your computer's Explorer window or Finder if you're using a Mac. I'm going to go ahead and navigate to where I keep listing photos for the company, but you may keep photos in all sorts of different places. We'll open up the Photos panel here and hit Open. It's loaded the photo in again, and you can see there it is. Now in reality, we're going to be using the front of the house. So one more time we'll practice this. We'll click on Replace. We'll choose Project Photos. And remember, somewhere in here should be the front of the house. I like this one at the angle. Add Selected. Save and continue. So now it's loaded our photo in here as part of the layout. We're now on the text step of the 4 steps. The first part in here is a disclaimer. That's just another small chunk of text at the very bottom if you'd like to add anything in there. The next option is headline. By default, it puts the just listed into it. We're going to change this to Open House. Keep in mind that any of these text areas may have limited characters, and that's just so that they continue to fit in the design area that you have. In the section here for street address, it automatically filled in the street address information from the MLS, so that's pretty handy. Down here, it has a spot for the MLS number, and so this part where it says label is kind of that first part, and then number is the actual information. Now instead of the MLS number here, I'm going to put open Sunday 2 to 4. And then in this part, I could also put something like great view. You can see here it turned orange and the characters remaining are 0 because I've hit the amount of letters that could fit in this spot. So again, you may have to play around with it a little to see what phrases fit in what boxes. You can leave boxes blank. That's not a problem either. One other thing I want to show you, and we'll just use the disclaimer box for it as an example. Whenever you click in these text boxes, you can see over here a little icon of a quill and a piece of paper show up. This is called Phrase Assistant. I think it's pretty cool. What it does is it shows you automatically phrases that it's pulled from the MLS or previous projects. So you can see here it's got the price, it has the MLS number, it'll have beds and baths, it has a URL for the property, and some of the marketing remarks. So if you'd like to include any of the marketing remarks in your projects, you don't have to copy and paste. It automatically pulls them in from the MLS for you to use and edit. If you change the marketing remarks on the MLS, you'll need to wait 24 hours for your projects in IMPREV to update. It also has options for stock phrases and articles. Under the stock phrases section, there are tons to choose from. And what the cool part is you can choose a keyword that you may want to emphasize. So let's say that the kitchen had gorgeous cabinets. Now, here's some great quick one-liners about cabinets, and you don't have to come up with your own sentence structure or worry about spelling or grammar. They're all here right ready for you. We'll skip that for now, though. Scroll down here to the bottom and hit Save and Continue. One last step is for the agent information to double check. On here, there's a URL to use if you'd like. Instead, I'm going to put great neighborhood, just kind of a tagline or a call-out option. We'll hit save and continue. And now we're done. Let's preview our new project. As it loads this PDF preview, you can see here now that it's changed the headline to say Open House. We still have the address here, but then it's put Great Neighborhood, open Sunday 2 to 4. And that was pretty easy. It took us maybe 10 minutes with me walking through the whole thing, and you've created your own great graphic. So let me show you how to pull it down. Down here in the Distribute section, this is how you will pull down any of your projects that you'd like to use. If you've already used them in some way, under the Links and Tools tab, you'll see if it's been published to YouTube or sent out via email, and all of the tracking would be would be under this option. We'll click on Distribute, and the easiest one to use is the Publish to Web option. We'll go ahead and tell it to do it at 100%. Publish as a web page. And now you have a URL that you can share. You can use bit.ly if you need it to be smaller. This is very useful for Twitter users when you're limited on character count. What I'm going to do is I'm going to copy this link and hit OK. In order to copy it, I hit Control-C, or you can always right-click and choose Copy. I'm going to open a new tab and paste. Here I hit Control-V, but you can also right-click and use the Paste option. And here's our image. Now to save this image down to my device, I'll right-click and choose Save Image As, or if you're using a touch device, you can touch and hold. By saving the image, I can save it anywhere on my computer. Today I'm just going to use my desktop, and I'm going to call this Clarendon Open House. And now that image is saved on my desktop. If we'd like to use that image on Facebook or Twitter, we can do it here, or we can open up our own projects. I'll jump over to facebook.com real quick, and you can see I opened a second tab. We'll pretend to be a real estate agent today. Sometimes I get people asking me if I really am an agent. It's pretty funny. It says right here, a pretend page. Nonetheless, let's say I would like to post that photo that we just created. I'll click on Upload Photo. I'm going to choose it here from my computer and hit Open. You can see it loads the photo here. Open House. This Sunday, 2 to 4 p.m. Be there or be square. Probably shouldn't actually say that for professionalist's sake, but I find it hilarious. We'll hit Publish. And now on Facebook you can see where I've posted my open house graphic. Pretty swanky. The graphic also could work on Instagram or texting it to someone, send it to your seller and let them send it on to their friends. All sorts of great options with this project. As always, if you have any questions when using the IMPREV Center, feel free to give myself, John, Todd, or Keith a call or an email, and we'll be happy to help. I look forward to seeing you in the next video. Thanks, team.